Yeah. Okay. So so in the trailer, when I saw the game, what I wanted to talk about was the gameplay. And the first thing when I saw the gameplay, I just immediately just went to what the problems could be. Do you think whiffing is going to be a problem in this game? Because I was seeing some whiffing. If you notice, when he was fighting the Titan, I saw him fighting a bunch of Mob Heartless, and there was like the basic enemy, the one that goes in the ground. It was kind of running away from Zora, and Zora was just whiffing a couple of times, and I'm like, that kind of bothers me a bit. Do you think that's going to be a problem that's going to affect the game later? Because we know what happened to Aqua when she started whiffing in 0.2. That was like annoying because I couldn't catch the damn enemies.
Um, if they follow the way that the main games go, they'll add a sort of like combination system which will let you, because like how I said earlier, where hang on, let me recite what I said. What did I say? I gotta scroll back up. From what I seen, most of the combat is gonna be centered around fighting mobs. Yeah, that's one thing that all all we really seen is just Sora fighting hordes of enemies. We never actually seen him fight like an actual boss. Like, let's say
The Titan.
not the Titan. Let's say Vanitas would.
Oh, you mean like the 1v1 battle system?
Yep. I'm worried
So
that
can it just? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm worried that the game is gonna your Sora's gonna whiff a lot because most of his attacks, from what we've seen, is meant to hit a horde of enemies.
Oh, that circular motion thing
Uh
that he
huh.
does when he
Yep.
like spins around. So that could probably like knock him off balance. And when it comes to fighting an enemy, that's a 1v1 system. Okay, okay.
And it.
Um, I think what'll happen is maybe he could change style apparently, because maybe that's just the way he attacks with the horde of enemies. Because a lot of those attacks I saw him doing, they were in the air for the most part when I saw it.
Yeah.
Because the enemies tend to travel higher, like up in the sky. So when that happens, he does that circular motion that I see. Um, as for like 1v1 battles, I'm not too worried about it, but the one thing that could really fuck up is the revenge value system. That used to be like the best thing ever, where you just hit an enemy until he's capped off to retaliate. And do you think that would make the game too easy for people who already experienced it before, or would it be just as? I think it's just going to be just as hard because we don't know when they retaliate anymore. We don't know how they attack anymore or what properties to use. So I think the revenge value. I hope they use it. I had not seen it yet, but I hope they use it.
Yeah, I really hope it returns because if not, then higher difficulties will be like a steamroll, to be honest, because you have so many, from what we've seen, you have so many moves that look like that they're practically you're invincible during them. You ever notice that?
Oh, like certain frames make you invincible frames.
Yeah, and Sora seems to have a lot of those.
Like the priority hitboxes and stuff like that. I mean, they're pretty large. I mean, you see him go crazy with the thing. Now, when I saw him use magic, like how magic could be integrated with combos and stuff like that. What I'm
Yeah,
starting to notice is so when I played as Aqua, the cool thing she could do the same thing obviously, but the coolest thing that I'm noticing about her is two things. One, she could like spam fireball like almost like a fucking machine gun, ice and lightning. She uses one at a time. But what the cool thing she does with it is when she's running away, she kind of does this sliding motion, so she's able to fluently use magic with wherever which way you're moving. So I hope that's the same case with Zora, but Zora looks a little more stiff when it comes to that. When he uses magic, like he just stands there and uses it. He doesn't like move around. Did you see him do anything like that? Like, let's say Zora is moving to the right, and then I cast the thunder. Will he be doing like the sliding motion, or will he just stand in that one spot to use thunder?
Um, that's tricky. I never really seen. He probably did do that in one of the trailers. I would have to look back at it. But to tell you the truth, from what I know right now, I haven't seen him do anything like that.
Yeah.
Like what you said. I know there's a form of he can slot while he's moving a general direction. He will move with the spell you cast because in one in one of the images that I have showing right now, it actually shows it. It'll pop up in a second. I'll I'll call it when it comes out. But yeah, I feel like that will return. It was just we just didn't get to see it used because no doubt that in all the trailers, Sora's like upscaled to the max. He probably won't even have all those abilities when you go to like the Toy Story world or shit like that. Because
okay, I get you.
Yeah, because trailers are usually like this. You aren't going to have these abilities at this time in this location. We're just showing you all the cool things that are in the game that you can get throughout the course of the game, but not exactly when you hit this area.
Okay, I get what you mean. So you're saying like it's a certain ability or item that he's using that's supposed to be for a later game that they probably have just showing now featured.
Yeah.
So what about those specific Keyblade transformations that we saw in that world? We'll be getting those obviously within that realm of the world at one point, right? Because it only makes sense.
I'm assuming that we get the Keyblades. I hope we get them pretty early on into the game, into the world. Because
yeah.
What's the point of earning that Keyblade and not being able to use it in that world? That was one thing that was kind of.
Oh yeah,
iffy.
all the Kingdom Hearts games would do that. You would get that Keyblade after you complete that world.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be the other way around. I mean, yeah, I get the point of earning it, but you should earn it in mid battle only because like you get this Keyblade from this one world, and now it makes no sense for you to use a Toy Story Keyblade in the Star Wars world. You know what I mean? Or it's like about lightsabers and stuff. And
well,
shit.
The one thing I'm
That's
liking about
though.
Yeah, I know. The one thing I do like about the Keyblades in this game is the fact that they're actually very diverse now. They have their own transformations and everything, their own special limits, which is something that really changes the gameplay. Because if you remember in Monsters Inc. world, it was the Keyblades would transform into some sort of like yo-yo,
claws or something.
Claws and yo-yo. It was both. And then for Toy Story, it was like a rocket and then into a hammer or some shit like that.
Oh yeah. And then I think I even saw a drill at one point.
I think that was in
I think that was in Toy Story as well. It was a drill.
Yeah. And I know in what's it called? Olympus Coliseum, your Keyblade turns into a sort of shield. And this
yeah.
Weird thunder thing.
The Goofy shield, baby. Goofy shield all the way. Just saying.
I'm thinking that those new Keyblade forms replace the drive form, which is a good thing, honestly, because that would mean we would have one for each world. That would. Damn, that's a. Considering they follow with 10 worlds, I would say there's. Yeah, there would be like
a new world from what I heard from rumors. Like you get new worlds as well.
What do you mean by new worlds?
So okay, for example, You know how in Birth by Sleep you had all the Disney worlds, but then you had your world, which was not Destiny Island, but Terra, Aqua, and Ben's world, which is what is it called? It's the one that turned into the Chamber of Awakening.
Mm.
Um, that world was called. It had a balance between light and dark. I just forgot what this world was called at the moment, but it had a good name. It's the one where Master Ericus Terra Aqua Fen lived in. Do you remember that world?
It's been a while since I played Birth by Sleep, so
Yeah, I just watched a video. A guy called Everglow is doing a project where he takes all the cutscenes and put it in chronological order so that he can make sense of the whole story, which has been doing a very good job. But not the land that never. Okay, so you know the Kingdom Hearts 2, the land that never was. That's its
yeah,
own Kingdom Hearts 2 world. That's not a Disney world. So we're gonna get something like that. Is what I'm basically trying to say.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah. So we're gonna get another new world, and it's not. And that's basically better. I hope we get more than 10 worlds. If they announce it's only 10 worlds, that's fine. I would just like just a little more. I was one of those guys who wanted Treasure Planet, so if I don't get it, whatever. I wasn't really expecting it.
well, I only said 10 worlds because I remember at one point it was an article or something where they announced it was going to be roughly around 10 worlds. Most of it new
10
and some
worlds.
of them old. So far, we know that we're going to be in Twilight Town, the Tangled
You know
World.
what? That's this might be off topic for Kingdom Hearts in general because I
What?
kind of do want to talk about Twilight Town. Do you think it's funny how Twilight Town was not always called Twilight Town?
Why? What was it called before?
Sorry. Um, it used to be called the I believe. Okay, so Twilight Town is that place where in Kingdom Hearts 2 where you fight and protect that door with Leon, right? Or
No,
Squall,
no,
they
no, no,
call
no,
him.
no. No, you're thinking of Hollow
Oh,
Bastion.
that's Hollow Bastion. Okay, my bad. I want to talk about Hollow Bastion later,
Yeah.
but we'll continue what you were doing because I have a thing for Hollow Bastion. Continue.
Oh, like I was saying, we know that like around 5 or 6 of the worlds are already released. There's Twilight Town. Let's see, there's gonna be Toy Story, Monsters Inc. What else is there? Olympus
Toy
Coliseum.
Story and Monster Inc. Olympus always comes.
Yeah, and then there's Tangled because they already showed footage of it, and that's around I'd say 5 worlds, 5 out of the 10. I'm assuming it's 10. It's probably like 13, 14, 15, but 10 is the lowest I'll go as
Okay.
far as worlds.
Oh, and as for Toy Story, did you notice there were Dazeda characters in there that were toys in one of the sections?
There was
They put
what?
a there was an Easter egg in the Toy Story realm where at one point part of the level, um, if you pay attention to like the level itself, because there's this thing called you get to explore the world now and with decent platforming, and they put a thing where it's like a section of toys. And if you pay attention to those toys and what they look like, they're a bunch of Dazeda characters apparently, like Final Fantasy characters, legit.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's the thing that people were talking about, and it was actually really cool. So I hope to see something more of that because Final Fantasy was always a mixed in with Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if Sephiroth's coming back. I hope he does. I actually want somebody more. I actually want the Final Fantasy 15 characters in the game, not well, as something because that's what they always do. Since 15 was most recent, I would really like to see that. And being that this game is about recipes and stuff, I really hope one day you just walk by Ignis and he's like, Zora, who are you? I found another recipe. He's like, you obtained Ignis recipe, gives you whatever. It would be a cool Easter. It's perfect. I mean, think about it. I felt like Final Fantasy 15 just, I don't know if it was planned or coincident, but it felt just perfect to just a recipe. What is Kingdom Hearts about? Recipes. So I'm like, this is just too perfect. you can't really. This is too big of an opportunity to pass up. If they didn't put that in, then I honestly got to call them out for that. That's bullshit. There's no way you cannot do that. Any character you're expecting or anything like that from a Final Fantasy game or that you want to see?
Let's see. One that people do want from Final Fantasy is Lightning from 13.
I think I know who you're talking. Is that the person? No, I'm thinking of someone else. It's like I think that's 10. Who's this guy who laughs? Has this weird, awkward laugh.
Oh, you mean Titus or Titus, whatever they call him.
They just go ha ha ha.
He's already in the game. He was in the first one.
No, he's in the first one, but I mean, like, is he gonna appear in 3 and shut?
The only Final Fantasy characters that actually have an impact to the story are Squall, Aerith, Yuffie, Cid, Cloud. Leon, and Leon and Squall are the same person. Cloud and Sephiroth.
Do you think they'll return?
Oh, and the 3 bitches from Final Fantasy X.
Oh, too. Well, they were kind of a waste of space. I didn't see them do shit in 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know their and were they always that small? I remember them being much taller.
No, I feel like they made them little, like, fairies or whatever because they couldn't decide on what they wanted to do with them. So I felt like I feel like it's better if they put him like that because, I mean, you kind of just threw the character into the fucking...
Just threw it in there, like, almost for no reason and for no purpose. Everyone had their purpose. They're like, oh, let's help Zora and stuff and assist fights. And they could actually be a lot better in this game, too, with how many support characters you get now. Did you see, like, it was this one image where you had, like, a fuck ton of supports. You had Buzz Lightyear, Woody... You had Donald, Goofy, all at the same time. It's like all of them. So I'm thinking like, wow, so could you imagine having all those Final Fantasy characters just help you in fights? I suppose that could make the game easier, especially if you can just give them a potion.
Give me a second. I'll be right back. Are you kidding me? Sorry about that. Someone was calling me.
Okay. We were talking about the supporting characters who can help you in battles. I really hope that that's a thing I could customize them all because being able to just give everyone potions and use them on me would be very helpful. Just saying.
Before, the problem with that was that the PS2 couldn't handle actually having more characters on the screen, especially assisting characters. But now I feel like, it is possible to do what you just said, where you have a vast variety of characters on the field helping you.
And since you get like a bigger battlefield from what it looks like, because you could literally walk outside of Andy's house and go fight in the freaking front. So I'm like, if that's the case, then this must be a really huge world at this point. You're so small, and everything else looks so huge. I also want this thing I actually want to talk about now is one of the levels, which is more than a Kingdom Hearts 3 subject. That would be Hollow Bastion. So is there like a history on how they get that name? Because back then in Birth by Sleep, which is which is a game that talks about the past. It was known as Radiant Garden. Like, do you know how Hollow Bastion got its name? I know probably one would probably explain that, but I didn't play one.
I think it was probably because of the fact that it was just taken over by darkness, if you remember, and Maleficent
When
kind
like
of
Maleficent fuck
yeah.
it up or some shit like that.
It wasn't really Maleficent. It was, I think, Maleficent.
Riku or something.
It was Ansem. Ansem fucked it up, and then Maleficent came in and took it over, some shit like that. It was something like that.
I'm surprised Ansem could do something like that because you'd think,
Darkness.
well, even then, Radiant Garden was already fucked up as it was. If you notice in Birth by Sleep, it had all these unversed just invading the city and shit like that.
Well,
And we all
that
know
was more of
unversed are also
a that was more of a sort of it happened at that time because if you recall, the Unversed were they came from Vanitas. They weren't like all. I'm assuming they weren't always there. Like they just started. They just started
they
invading
did. Yeah, they did
at that
just
time.
start invading. And if only we had that security system, that would help out a little bit. But we did not, so fuck us. Uh, Apparently, when I saw that, Unverse was very annoying back then in Radiant Garden. It had this one plant thing that would instantly kill me. It was like this thing that could shoot a wind. Uh, I noticed that. You ever notice? Okay, I'm just gonna call this place Radiant Garden. You could call it Hollow Bastion because you're probably more comfortable, but I rather call it Radiant Garden because that's what it was originally was. Um, do you ever notice that like a lot of fucked up shit happened there? If you notice, just a lot, and we're not just talking about like Kingdom Hearts 1. We're talking about like even before. This place wasn't really the best place to live if you think about it, because not because of the unversed, but because his name Ansem the Wise was doing some pretty crazy experiments over there. And you could say this part is non-canon, but the data battles and stuff that is under and shit like that. Don't you always find that strange? There's like a secret lab and all this other shit just going on at Radiant Garden. Like even one of the boss fights, Terranort, took place at Radiant Garden. So I'm just looking at this place like Hollow Bastion. Like this place was never good to begin with to stay. And whatever did happen to the people, did they all leave or some shit?
What happens in
Or died?
typically they explained it in one. In one, what happened was the residents of Hollow Bastion fled, or I'm assuming most of them died, honestly, because that's how it is.
Like a lot of there's like a history with freaking Hollow Bastion, Radiant Garden, and it's a thing I just can't really wrap my head around. Like you got two, it has all these data battles and research who explain the story. You have Birth by Sleep where it tells you the story how Terranort became a thing, and then he had amnesia because what happened to Terranort is, if you remember, Aqua knocked his shit out so good that apparently he had amnesia, and then it's literally just this body with Xehanort and Terra, and it's like lost its mind. It doesn't remember anything what it's supposed to do, or even Terra and Xehanort were having problems. Like, okay, so who's gonna control this body? Because the body itself can't even remember. So you just get this thing that becomes a researcher under Ansem the Wise, and then you get Ansem the Seeker of Darkness because it split its Heartless, and then you have the Nobody, which is Xemnas. What did Ansem want in Kingdom Hearts 1 again? To just plunge the world in darkness, or?
Yeah, that was his main goal, but he also wanted it to act. He also wanted access to Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, so that's every Xehanort character in a way.
Yeah,
I heard like a theory from people like Xemnas. Well, he wasn't a good guy, but I think he was technically trying to stop Xehanort from achieving his true goal.
Also, we We got an extra person in this discussion, Brandon.
I told you to lock it, but okay.
No.
Um,
I actually added him, and he asked if he wanted
oh,
to
okay.
join, and that's why.
Oh, okay. Got it. So the next thing I'd say is, okay, be honest, V. Who are they're called the Seven Seekers of Light? Am I correct? Or Keyblade Wielders or something like that?
They're called the Seven Wielders of Light and the 13 Seekers of Darkness, which is needed to forge the Keyblade and whatnot and all that nonsense.
So who are your seven?
Oh, as I posted before when we talked earlier, they they are. Give me a second. Let me look back. Let's look at your messages up here. From what needs to be known, the wielders of light have to be a keyblade wielder for some odd reason, but the darkness doesn't have to be. It's weird. And they are Mickey, Aqua, Ven, Sora, Riku, Kairi, and Axel.
That's your seven?
That's my seven.
Or just Keyblade Wielders?
Those are. Hang on, I'm bringing them in. Those are seven Keyblade wielders that we know can represent the seven. Because Terra, at the moment, we have really no idea what's going on with him, how they're gonna implement him into the story again, other than the fact that he is he is Ansem and Demnis in a way, because we have no idea what actually happened to him.
Well, I could tell you kind of what happened to him or where it left off. Um, so right now, Terra is technically being used as a vessel uh, for Xehanort because, okay, this part might be very confusing because, Kingdom Hearts just has to be complex or whatever. But so we know he has the Lingering Will. And have you ever seen the Kingdom Hearts on Ice?
No, what the fuck is that?
So it gave some lore. It's just this freaking show that they did, to like for the Kingdom Hearts story. But at the very end, you get this incredible part to the sequel of what's gonna happen. And do you remember who Naminé was?
Yes.
So apparently, Naminé literally told the Lingering Will because Lingering said, "Who are you?" And she said, "Do not worry, Terra. Help is on the way." So it's basically a way to implement that. I could actually post it on Discord for you to see after this, but apparently they're trying to imply the way that Terra is coming back. Not to mention, if Xehanort can come back, why can't Terra come back? You destroyed Xemnas and Ansem. So technically, you would get Xehanort and Terra. So you only see Terra in Dream Drop distance. So, and then you wonder, well, why is Xehanort here and where's Terra? And it's very possible that Terra is still being used as a vessel, so that way Xehanort is able to stay alive. Because the only reason he wanted Terra's body is so he can live through Kingdom Hearts. So just because you have Terra's body doesn't mean you have to take form of Terra. You could still look like an old man, I guess, if you want. And the last implementation I would say for the Seven Seekers of Light is you already saw them in a way in the Dream Drop Distance trailer. Do you remember the trailer when everybody like Mickey was just throwing like these pages around and stuff in the trailer, and then you see, well, first you see like Donald, Goofy, Zora,
Yeah.
then after that you get Ven, Aqua, and Terra, which is I think is a hidden way of telling us that these three are coming back because you see all of them holding their keyblades, getting ready to fight Xehanort, and they're standing alongside with Zora, Riku, and I think that evidence supports that why Terra should be one of the people. I mean, you literally have 6 of them right there, easy. Like you could just eliminate them by just saying, "Oh, well, let's look at the Keyblade builders. There's 3 of them," because Mickey even said it in Dream Drop Distance. It was like, "Well, there's Zora and Riku, and then there's my 3 friends, and the only 3 he could possibly be referring to is Terra, Van, and Aqua, because those were, a thing." And he just said, "I just couldn't save him." So they're trying to save him now. As for Terra, you do have an argument of saying, like, how are you supposed to save this character? Because it almost looks like he cannot be saved. But you still have the lingering will, which is basically Terra. That's basically Terra.
Okay.
So I would just argue that. Well, who knows? Maybe none of them are that. Axel was very interesting, though. I actually do want to see this character in action because ever since I saw him have his Keyblade, I'm thinking, like, are we going to be able to use him or what? Like, that really sucks that you bring this character and tease me with that. And then all of a sudden, well, fuck you, you can never see this character again or some shit. Like, don't tease me. Like, what is his? What do you think is gonna be a thing? How do you think Axel is gonna work?
I feel like at the moment he's currently training with Merlin and Kyrie, if you recall.
Merlin is that one wizard, right?
Yep.
That goofy ass.
Yep.
Oh no, not him. When did? You sure it's Merlin and not Yen Sid?
It's not Yensen. Yensen was the one who told us they were with Merlin.
Damn. Nothing I have against Merlin. It's just goofy character. Why use him to train? Oh, whatever. I don't even know where he's from anymore. That's how out of touch of Disney. Right? What Disney theme was he part of?
Merlin? He was from The Sword in the Stone.
Who, Merlin?
Never seen it.
It's the story of King Arthur.
It's not that good.
It's not that good, but it's basically like a Disney
It's a
version
classic.
of
It's a wizard shows kid knowledge and shit.
Oh, okay.
If you know the story of King Arthur, you know where he pulls Excalibur and becomes a king, and you know.
So I know the rest of it now.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now I know where Merlin's from. As for the rest, I know this is one of Brandon's favorite. This is actually a character loved, because Axel, I think, was #1 loved organization member. Then you have Roxas, but we have another popular one, and that was Marluxia. So, do you think Marluxia? Because the reason why this character is so interesting, I don't know if you guys seen Kingdom Hearts X Union. He used to be a different person. Marluxia is now the nobody and stuff like that. But apparently, he did some horrible things in X Union. He even killed someone before he became this nobody. Now that we have this nobody, he also continued doing horrible things and planned to overthrow the organization one day. Do you think he still has that plan and ambition in mind?
That depends on
because that's like I think Marluxia is a wild card because I feel like he can do whatever he wants, just like Axel, but in the evil way, where opposed to Axel or Lee, who's using it in a good way, because he could just betray Xehanort if he does it at the right time. I feel like he can legit do that.
I'm gonna trust him in the first place.
He is a very mysterious character from what we know. For some reason, he's been around since the. You were right there, Carl.
What? It's the win.
Oh, okay.
It's the win. Yeah, I'm outside. It's the win.
Oh, okay. Then.
If it gets too bad, I'll just go back inside and find an exclusive room.
All right then. as I was saying, Marluxia's been around for quite a long time,
Oh yeah, he
and
has.
because of now I lost my train of thought.
I'm
Shit.
just saying he's a wild character, and I feel like he's a character not even Xehanort should trust. If he's willing to betray Xemnas, then God knows what he's really capable of. Because think about it. Do you guys remember Chain of Awakening, right? Chain
Yeah.
of Memories, my bad. They were all looking for Ven. Did you know that? That's literally the story. They're all looking for Ven. That's the reason why you have Chamber. And only Aqua in Birth by Sleep, freaking Master Ericus said Aqua is the only one that knows where Ven is. And that's how I think Ven is going to come back. Because if you can save Aqua, Aqua can save Ven and solve the Oblivion mystery. No one can solve it. Organization can't solve it, but Xehanort can actually meet her. Because if you remember in 0.2, he was talking to her. Now you could argue that's just an illusion. I legit think that was Xehanort trying to talk to her. She wanted to know where Ven was, and when she said, "This place is it the Chamber of Awakening?" she told him by accident. She thought that was Terra. So in 3, we all might have to go back to the Chamber of Awakening again, and it's gonna be a race for who can find Ven first. Because Ven, he's a weapon. He's literally the Keyblade. Well, I'm just gonna call it X-Blade because that's stupid. Why they call it the
That
fucking
name
Keyblade?
is so
Use that
awful.
X symbol. I'm like,
The
the fuck? Just call it X-Blade.
It's
Like,
called the
what the hell would
Keyblade because the
It
character.
means key, but
Yeah,
fuck.
I know. It's very disorienting. It's a Japanese thing. It's a Japanese thing. So like we can't really.
I get it. I don't judge. I'm just saying, like in America, you just look at it, it's like it's fucking X, but an X blade sounds so much cooler. But you know, whatever. This is why the story I think is amazing but complex, and I think it could be really good if they make Kingdom Hearts 3 about that. Because yes, you know, Seven Wonders or whatever versus 13 Secrets of Darkness. I think the game should at one point. This isn't the main story, but it should revolve around who can find Ven first, because that's what it's really all about. If you find Ven, you win. You basically win. If the bad guys find Ven, you can make the Keyblade. Fuck. If Zora finds Ven, he can give him back, like he can wake him up. So if Marluxia finds him and decides to betray Zen, then he has the Keyblade. That's because Ven is looked at as, yeah, he's his own character, but think about it. He's a powerful weapon. That weapon is used to summon Kingdom Hearts, so
Yep.
Keyblade War. So Ven is not a character you can just let walk around. That's why he's in a coma. He's sleeping. You can't just let him walk around. So I hope they do save Aqua, because if you can save Aqua, you can save Ven. I guess the next subject would have to be about okay, will we get to play as Riku? Because I'll be really pissed if we only get to play as Zora. I legit will be pissed. Not that I don't like Zora, but Kingdom Hearts is a game where I care about other characters more than Zora. Because
Yeah.
it's very simplistic. So that's why I prefer other characters.
Well, from what I told you earlier, a lot of this that we're discussing is literally we're just reading what we said earlier, but basically what I told Carl earlier was I talked about how the last trailer, which was the one that we got a couple months ago. Yeah, the music video. We had a specific scene which was where Riku, I don't know what happened. We don't know why, but apparently his way to Dawn Keyblade is broken. Like literally, it's someone fucking snapped it in half, and we've never seen that happen before. Like we've seen
Keyblade
like
can't-
weapons break and all that, but a Keyblade, That's actually very. Even in the Keyblade graveyard, none of those Keyblades are broken. If you look
Oh
at
yeah,
them,
they're like all rusted and stuff, but they're
yeah,
still usable. You can pick it up and start swinging the bitch, and it can hurt someone.
yeah.
Shit, Xehanort said, dead Keyblades. Let me just fucking throw a cyclone at you. That was very annoying. Just saying. But even they didn't break when they touched you.
So it's very confusing to think what exactly happened to cause all this mess, like to 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 make it break. We know that he's gonna get a new Keyblade, considering there was a I don't know if you've seen it, but there's actually art out there that was meant to be given out to what's it called? To fake action figure creators or Figma or whatever they're fucking called.
Are you talking about that freaking figure with Riku holding a Keyblade?
Yeah, with the car key.
Oh, the Honda key. Oh my god, that was funny. I thought it's literally a car key. Like, and I'm like, okay. If you notice, I think it's actually more symbolic if you think about it, because who does Riku look like if you notice? He awfully looks like a Final Fantasy 15 character, if you ask me.
Well,
He's Noctis, bro.
yeah,
he
he's
looks
Noctis.
just like Noctis.
I just I need to remind myself.
And literally, he wore the same clothes as Noctis. So at that point, I'm like, okay, Noctis, car key. The whole point of 15 is to drive around in a car with your key. So I'm like, okay, that's a thing. Clearly, Final Fantasy 15 was an inspiration. But what I want to know is, do you think that Keyblade is the Keyblade in between worlds? Because you have the Keyblade of Light and the Keyblade of Darkness that Mickey has, and then that Sora
The Way
has.
to Dawn?
Not the Way of Dawn, the new one.
You mean the fucking car key? What is he gonna?
Yes, the car key.
Is he gonna twist it into the keyhole and then a car? You get a fucking car that tries.
Well, fuck. Riku drives a fucking motorcycle in Kingdom Hearts 2. Can you really get mad?
When the fuck did he drive a motorcycle? Oh wait,
That little fucking aircraft used to fight fucking Nohart, which was a pretty easy boss. Just saying.
it was easy. Fighting
But
the
have you ever
dragon
fought-
wasn't easy.
Oh, but I'll tell you when Nohart was hard. The
What?
fucking Birth by Sleep version when he moves the fuck everywhere and you can't hit him for shit.
So you got to put mines everywhere.
No. Mine don't. Well, maybe. I forgot the strategy. I beat him before, but that was with Terra. I probably used Thunder Surge or some shit.
Use
No,
mines to
I
be.
cheated. No, I used Rhythm Mixer. That's how I beat him.
The best way to beat him, from what I've seen, is people would spam mines in the direction he goes, and he would take a certain amount of damage. And but Jesus Christ, that game is fucking. It's a broken
It
game.
had a very good. Okay, I get it, but it had a very good idea and it had a very good story. So I overlooked some gameplays, but I'm not gonna lie, some of it was pretty shitty. Some of it was, but it had its bright moments. Critical impact, like all these power ups that you get,
Yeah,
those are good ideas. Those are great. Other than like, since you can't use like
they
dry forms.
were, but considering they were made for the PSP, the limitations are bad. I'll be right back.
Again? Okay.
Yeah, Brandon's gonna be here just in case.
I hope 3 becomes a great game. I would be very disappointed if it's okay. Fair note to everyone, just letting you know, Brandon hates Terra, just like a certain YouTuber that we know. So he calls him Terra, aka Terrible. I love Terra, so I'm just gonna roll with that. Anyone who has shit to say about Terra, I'd say, well, whoever played 2 and made it to him, I'd say he kicked your ass. So I'm not gonna call him terrible because he fucked you up.
Alright, back.
We just gotta wait for V. That's pretty much it. But I was just telling the viewers like how you hated Terra and stuff, and I know one other YouTuber that hates him too.
If he didn't make such stupid choices, then I would hate him so much.
But that's just plot driven. Like if you look at the character for the actual character,
That's what makes it worse. He's stupid for the plot.
but you could argue that everyone was making stupid decisions in Birth by Sleep.
But as stupid as Terra.
You remind me of another YouTuber that hated Terra. Like he hated him. He's like, oh, he couldn't control the darkness. It's his fault why bad shit happens. Had he not made such gross decisions, which I don't know what necessarily the gross decisions are. I guess like the stupidest thing is he felt for Captain Hook, and I was like, how the fuck do you fall for such a dumbass like Captain Hook? Saying, oh,
like,
Peter Pan is the bad guy. I'm like, wow.
Getting invaded by Xehanort.
You have to remember,
Fighting him
Adriel
one-on-one.
Alnuma loves to write himself into a fucking corner.
Oh no.
That is very true. But if you look at Terra from the lore standpoint, because I could debate this. What if I told you from a lore standpoint, Terra might be the strongest?
I wouldn't care about how strong he is.
Lore?
Lore, yeah, from
Lore.
a lore standpoint. Like a story standpoint. Not gameplay, a story.
Alright, explain.
So think of it this way: Terra, aka Terrible, Brandon calls him. Think how strong he really is. So Terra is a person who can utilize dark and light just like Riku. He can either choose to use the dark if he wants. That's number one. That's something that Aqua, Ven, and Kairi they can't really do stuff like that. Opposed to Riku, who actually had ties to the darkness and can utilize them. For Terra, why do I say he's so strong? For a Keyblade wielder who's not a master, because people like to love to argue this one, oh, he didn't make master. Clearly, a Keyblade master doesn't mean shit if someone like Zora, who didn't make Mark of Mastery, but Riku did, where Zora
He
used to
didn't
beat
make it
up
for
Riku all the
He
time.
didn't make it for biased reasons in the first place.
You said what?
He didn't make it for biased reasons.
I would just say that for someone who's not a Keyblade master, who legit beat 2 Keyblade masters, Xehanort and Ericus, you really can't call this character weak. You just can't. And from the lingering will standpoint, from when you fought him in 2, you're gonna fight this thing and say, oh, this thing isn't that strong. No, it kicked your ass. It fucking destroyed you. There was no real way to fight it without the years of learning how to study him and beat him out of speedrunning, that speedrunner style, and exploits. But even then, I could also argue this. Freaking, who will win the fight, Terra or Sephiroth? Oh shit, the wind. My bad. My bad if you're getting a lot of wind. It's very windy. Alright, the wind passed. V, are you still there?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm still here.
You can beat him pretty much if you learn his pattern. If you know his pattern.
Yeah, you could beat him if you learn his pattern, but from the story, how he was defeating everyone, I'm gonna go with Terra on this point. Now Zora could be like, main character. He could probably be Terra and whatnot because plot armor and stuff. But if Terra can beat Xehanort once, why can he not do it again? An interesting fact. Do you remember that character Zack from Crisis Core Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy Crisis Core, I should say.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Hades took over his body, like made him succumb to the dark, and you like fought against him? He just starts slashing every fucking where.
Yeah.
You know what move he was using, right?
What?
He was using Omni Slash.
Yes.
Where you think
So, yeah, you could say Cloud stole it. But the funny thing is, Terra learns that move when you do D-Links. Like, if you D-Link Zack and you get the 2 stars and you do the finishing move, you get Omni Slash. So, that's the funny thing. Does that mean Terra can beat Sephiroth?
Oh my god.
If he can use Omni Slash, and he said Zack was weak, so if you can beat Zack and say, oh, this guy's fucking weak, you gotta be saying, oh, I can fuck up Sephiroth. I have the move to do it.
They don't even have to fight Sephiroth, they can just seal his ass.
Yeah, I legit think Terra can actually beat Sephiroth in a fight. That's just my opinion. It could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. I'm just saying, even someone as dumb as Terra, you can say, can fucking do something.
As long as he doesn't get manipulated by Maleficent.
I still say he ain't.
This lady is totally trustworthy.
Listen, Terra will trust anyone.
They
I get
made
it.
him. Carl, they made Terra as dense as a brick when they fucking.
Well, fuck. What does Terra's name mean? It means Earth. So, of course, he's pretty dense.
That's
Terra
just
literally means dense.
That's taking the name to the max.
Oh, and you guys know what Riku means, right?
What?
It means land. And kind of ironic how Riku got the Keyblade from Terra. So, I guess the names make sense. It was just fate.
What about Aqua? Well, you can argue that
Aqua gave it
Aqua.
to Kairi. Aqua gave it to Kairi, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, what if she gave it to her grandma instead?
Everyone keeps talking about Kairi's grandma when I think that, in all honesty, Nomura just made the character just for.
Nomura fucked everything up. I'm just gonna say that. And Butterbuns pointed that out. I remember a YouTuber just said he's trying too hard to fix everything as well. Because remember that time Mickey did not have his shirt, and all of a sudden he has a shirt?
Yes.
Like, they were trying way too hard to fix that.
Yeah,
What
He's
match
trying-
this up? How did Mickey get here?
I feel like he's trying too hard to fix his story, and at this point, he's just like, you know what? Let's just fucking continue it.
Like, I
let's see
get
where
you
we
made some
go.
mistakes.
Yeah, let's
I
see
get
where
you
we
made
go.
mistakes. But at least just go forward and see what you can do. Don't try too hard to make it obvious to where, oh, I fucked up. Let me just rewrite that.
It's like if I
He
finish.
probably wrote Terra into a corner, to be honest. That's probably why you don't see the fucking character, because he wrote him to a corner.
I feel like he doesn't want to use him as much anymore until he's like, okay, I'll bring him back when everything's done, and that way. It makes sense because we beat the bad guy and he goes back.
Yes.
But think about it. No one dies in Kingdom Hearts. Even your organization members who fade away in this sad moment. Like, oh, I like that member. He comes back in 3. So no one really gave a shit. It means those moments were kind of...
What about Larxene and Demix? They ain't back.
Yes.
Larxene is coming back, from what I heard.
Who the fuck said that?
Wait. Who's Larxene again? That's the.
That's the
Mushroom.
Thunder bitch.
Yeah, that's the Pokemon.
I heard she's coming back. Hold on. They have a voice audio with her. Hold up.
Oh,
I heard some
they
voice
better
clips.
get
Hold
cutscenes
up.
and that's it.
That's something I actually have to look up because I heard she was coming back, but there's two that's not coming back. You're
Who?
gonna get the whole organization, but you're not gonna get two of them. And that was the doctor and the book guy.
Ooh, no, Vexen. Vexen can stay dead forever.
Actually, Vexen's alive. He's in Dream Drop Distance, remember?
Oh,
The doctor, the
Yeah.
one that has the shield, right?
Yeah, he's in Dream Drop Distance.
I think Nomura made him a statement saying that those two weren't coming back. But maybe he is alive. I don't know.
Well, maybe they might not be as
Like, included in
involved
the
with the
game.
story. Like, yeah.
they're just
I
there.
feel like he should have, if that's the case, if he's alive, because
Or he's like, I don't want to do anything else with these characters. I have too many damn characters to work on.
I mean, he literally made 13 other characters. Now, here's what I really want.
What?
The subject is boss battles. Who do you want to fight? Like, what is the cool fight you've been waiting for?
The cool fight I've been waiting for. One,
Yeah, what is this Kingdom Hearts you've been like? You could be multiple.
a
'Cause I've
rematch
been waiting for a
with
lot of certain fights.
a rematch with Marluxia, a good one, not one where I can die over bullshit.
Are you referring to Kingdom Hearts 2 or Chain of Memories?
Two, because if I fought him in Chain of Memories with the Kingdom Hearts 2 playstyle, not the fucking cards, where like every 5 seconds I had to press triangle to reload my deck.
That was so long. It's like, oops, I'm out of cards. Guess I'll just die.
Because I gotta reload, and it takes a long ass time to reload.
Yes, you got so many damn cards.
Alright, Nomura's probably gonna say, alright, I fucked up on that one.
Lightning dash one time.
I feel like he implemented the card system because originally it was on the Game Boy, and I felt like he just didn't want to. He wanted to create variety, but not in a way where it would pass the limitations of the actual game, like the game system.
Yeah, but we can all admit that he's probably sitting in his office, and if someone brings it up, he'd be like, okay, I fucked that up.
Screw the cards. Unless you're playing Riku mode, then you can just destroy everything.
Oh, Riku was just destroy everything mode because he had darkness. See, this is why darkness is such a cool thing.
No,
Riku would
he had
use darkness for
form.
good shit.
He had fucking dark form, which the game
Riku was like easy mode for the game. Here, use these dark powers to. And he didn't even have Wave of Dawn at that point. This was actually a much weaker Riku now that you mention it, because this is when he's younger. He's not even using a Keyblade. He's using the little cutter shit. And I'm like, well, fuck this character.
It's just a fucking bat wing with an eye.
Yeah, it's literally a Batwing. He's not even using a Keyblade yet. Had he can, this is why Riku needs darkness, because had he could do that again, transform into like that dark Ansem form, then he'd just fuck up everyone's shit.
Like,
You know
Carl,
how
I
many
think
fights I would win?
I think you're
Because of
getting
the
a little bit ahead of yourself. Because honestly, I don't even know anymore. The scaling, there's no way to really scale Kingdom Hearts characters because they always
They just blow shit up.
they reset it like every fucking game. So it's hard to really scale any character.
You forgot.
Can we
Magic.
assume that characters are better and stronger than what they were back then? Can we agree on that?
All right, I'll give you that. But in terms of like gameplay wise, that
Oh no,
It's
they'll always be
hard.
balanced. Oh
Yeah.
no. If it's balanced, then no. I'm talking about lore.
lore
Don't
wise,
ever put that in the game.
lore wise, it's still a little bit off to kind of scale it because it's just weird. They're
It's too stupid.
yeah.
Well, then I'll just use the general rule of power. We can say you're generally stronger than what you were before.
Yes.
I could use the general rule of power.
There you go.
So we can't assume how strong they would get, but we can assume that they're stronger. We just don't know how much. So a fight I've been waiting for, I actually want Riku to fight the Lingering Will and play as Riku because that's the more important rule. Huh? Is it the wind?
Yeah.
The wind is
The wind.
powerful. I'm all the way in Georgia.
The wind is trying to enter the discussion as well.
It's like we're talking about terrible.
Like y'all talking about Terra? Oh no.
So you said you wanted to fight the Lingering as Riku, you said?
Well, the wind stopped blowing. No, it didn't. It just keeps getting stronger.
Well, at least it's calm for now.
I was just talking about Riku and Terra. That's it. I was just saying, like, make Riku fight Terra since, that's what the Lingering Will was like waiting for and expecting for.
I'm waiting for the 15th Ursula boss fight.
If we gotta fight Ursula one more time, first we did some fucking Dance Dance Revolution DDR fucking mix. Yup. Rhythm game.
Card Ursula.
And then you got the Dream Drop Distance Ursula.
You got the Game Boy Ursula.
Dream Drop Distance Ursula was bad.
Well, no shit.
She
You didn't
makes
have.
no sense. It's like, why Ursula?
Why are you fighting Ursula in the first world? You don't even go to fucking Atlantic.
No, they need to bring back Tarzan.
You could have just fought that big ass Heartless that was on Destiny Islands.
Generic. You could have fought a monster from Destiny Island instead of Ursula.
I would have rather fought that instead of Ursula. I don't want to look at. I don't want to look at fucking.
It didn't make no sense. It's like Destiny Island Ursula.
I don't want to look at her non-existent chin again.
Oh my gosh.
It's just an ugly, unpleasant character to look at and fight. That's every time I look at Ursula. It's just a very unpleasant person to look
The
at.
next boss fight is her sister.
The skinny one?
Oh no! Don't
The skinny
remind
one
me of
was
that.
actually-
They
I think
literally
the wind
made
has
the
something to
second.
say about that.
The second movie. I don't even want to remember the second movie, honestly.
The second movie was actually a little funny because I remember she was mocking the freaking king and she said, "What the hell are you gonna do? Throw Sebastian at me or some shit?"
Throw the crab at me.
Throw the crab at me. I'm like, fuck, that might actually work. He'll fucking pinch you. You ever got pinched by a crab? It fucking hurts.
Little Mermaid.
Dude, I got pinched by a crab before. It fucking hurts. It sucks.
Better throw it.
You kind of have to like slide your finger out.
Why would you mess with it?
I'd break it. Fuck.
I'd break
Because
it.
no, I had a pet crab. I had a hermit crab and it pinched me.
Oh,
Oh no.
I'd break his arms.
Oh my.
To be honest, if it was like a wild crab, I'd fucking break the fucker's arm.
It was a pet crab, so I didn't want to kill him.
You're getting served with butter.
Like, mother, you piece of shit. I'm gonna throw you in a fucking pot and serve you with butter.
Did anyone ever see my post on The Simpsons when Homer bought a pet lobster?
Yeah.
And he basically said,
Oh
"I'm
my
gonna
gosh,
grow this thing and eat it," but he ended up like loving the lobster like a child. And
Yeah.
he's just gonna keep feeding it.
He was about to throw it in the pot that had those. Yeah.
The pinchy. That's what he called it. I thought it was hilarious.
Wasn't
Then
he
March is like,
crying when he was eating it?
yeah, because he ended up giving him a hot bath. He's like, I gave Pinchy a nice hot bath. And then he's like, what smells so good? He's like, Pinchy? Pinchy? And he just fucking cooked his own crab by accident. So he ended up eating it. And everybody's like, so are you going to eat that by yourself? He's like, it's what Pinchy would have wanted. So he's just crying and eating it at the same time. And he says, you don't have to feel pain anymore. He just rips the fucker in half.
Oh, God.
Who would like this Pinchy? Homer actually made me want to get up that lobster because I could, grow it and eat it.
Take it outside for walks.
He's like, you're a free-range lobster now. Fucking throw some sausage in the little pool. And he eats it all and pulls them in. It's like, homie, you made breakfast. He's like, nothing for my true love. Eat up, you fucking lobster. You're nothing but skin and bones. Yeah, I don't know how it turned into the Simpsons conversation, but back to what I was saying earlier. Let's see, I have formation in 10 minutes, so 10 minutes to wrap it up.
All right, then. What's the last thing you want to talk about?
So, I guess the last thing is critical mode balances. Will you be doing a speed run like in critical mode or anything like that?
Not for a while.
Maybe not your first playthrough.
Oh,
Obviously,
hell no. I do plan to play the game. Possibly I'll play the game on Proud. Because Proud, it is difficult, but at the same time, it's also... Proud mode will force me to learn all the mechanics of the game, basically. That's what I did with Dream Drop Distance. Like, you can't, like... When you enter Proud, you can't really shred through the entire game without having to worry about leveling up and all that shit. But when you hit Proud and Critical, it's sort of like you either grind or you either learn how to fight it without grinding. With what you got.
Which is going to be my situation again. Like I told you what I did in Birth by Sleep, I'm planning to do it again, so...
Oh, God.
Well, well, I made it through Birth by Sleep. How many people said, "Oh, I beat Terra's story, critical level 1, and the Mirage Arena"? Not a lot of people can say that.
You, my friend, have
with
props.
Terra, Terra is like impossible. Oh, by the way, fighting the mysterious figure on the PSP version with Terra was proven to be almost utterly impossible. No speedrunner can do it on the PSP. They had to nerf the mysterious figure so that Terra was able to fight it.
Well, no shit. How the fuck do you expect to move with that clunky ass piece of shit?
The analog is tiny.
Seriously, when I saw no, I don't mean to disrespect the PSP, but come on, man, the fucking analog stick was literally it looked like they got.
It's a circle.
I didn't even know that was an analog stick. That was the funny part. I thought that was just like a bolt or some shit.
You know when you can click on the analog stick on your PS4 remote?
Yeah.
I feel like when
that's like constantly clicked on, you gotta move it.
When they made the PSP, they literally just pushed it in all the way till it snapped in and got stuck, and that's how they created the analog stick.
It was like a pushed-in analog stick.
Imagine doing a fighting game on that thing. There were some fighting games on that thing. If you're a guy who likes fighters, don't use a PSP.
That's why you that.
Well, why don't you just D-pad it?
You can, but there are some people who prefer analog, which is me. I prefer analog, honestly.
I prefer D-pad.
Get with the
Yeah, for balances, for critical level 1. So if you notice in 0.2 how Aqua's damage was basically upscaled to a very good degree, because if you play critical, you basically do beginner mode damage, which is very rewarding, I have to say. You do beginning damage. So you can kill things as fast as they kill you, apparently. But what's going to frustrate me, I guess, is if I do critical level 1, people like Vanitas, who are going to be like later boss fights, is going to fucking destroy me because they can just kill me in one hit and it'll just be over.
Teleport straight.
Not to mention, I don't even know how to get Leaf Brazier or Second Chance or Once More or anything like that yet. So without those items, I'm pretty sure Vanitas is going to rock my world.
You need
Now,
second
fix Vanitas. Do not use his mechanics. I don't know if you guys remember fighting Vanitas, but he had super armor and could break out of your combos just because he wanted to.
That man can do whatever he wanted.
You just say too slow, and then you die as soon as you hear those words.
He's like, I'm stunned for 3 hits. Or 2.
I'm like, what the hell is this? And my god, Vanitas was just a poorly made boss fight. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with him. But they made worse. Mysterious Figure will always be the #1 worst boss fight I ever seen in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Throw all of your moves into the wind.
Oh, that fucking thing he did. And being the fact you are probably going to have to fight young Xehanort again, you're probably going to have to fight that move again. Just saying.
Have him fucking turn your screen into your circle. Send all your moves in the wind.
Yeah, he would take your command deck and just, it's gone. You can't heal, you can't do anything. So you better go get your moves before he hits you again.
Hope you live.
Yeah, so you remember fighting young Xehanort in Dream Drop Distance. So have fun fighting him again in 3.
Only he stops time.
He stopped time in Birth by Sleep, and that one was more overpowered. Because once he stopped time, he gets a free hit, and you're just gonna die.
What if he stopped time and did Ares Arcadium?
I'm actually...
Ares Arcadium and then uses Mega Flare.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite terrible. I'm actually happy to see Hades again. I actually want to see him have personality like he did in 2.
Oh my gosh. He's gonna make you feel the heat.
Feel the heat. Feel the heat. Oh, that mob battle was bad. You were confined in space and couldn't do shit.
The boss fight's gonna start.
Does anyone really care about Pete and Maleficent at this point? I feel like they have no point to the story, honestly.
They're just there to be Disney villain.
I feel like they're just there, like a Team Rocket thing. They just show up and be like, oh, by the way, you gotta fight this motherfucker now. And it's like, I really just want to continue the story. I don't want to have to deal with this bullshit. And that's how I felt like in 2. Pete was just there. He didn't contribute anything. And if he did, I'd really like to see him fight Organization 13 or someone to slap the dog shit out of him.
He's just gonna use his
The fucking shield.
Pete back his car.
Oh, the fucking Captain Dark and Captain Justice.
Having screwed you over on the command board.
That was really bad. He was I don't know if V, you ever played the command board where you roll dice? Did V leave?
No, I'm still here. My bad.
V, you ever played the command board where you roll dice with Terra, Aqua, and Ven?
And then Terra gets.
No, I never. I'm not touching that thing. Fucking hate that thing.
They summon Pete.
You never even tried it. Dude, there was one time I got Captain Darkin. He took all the fucking money. I hope they don't make a game like that. He took all my money, and he was like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?"
I was losing.
Makes you buy everything.
Until the computer took Pete. And he was on the squares where he.
Oh, when the computer had motherfucker, I had stunned him like.
That's how you beat that. You just keep stunning them until you catch up. But yeah, the computer got stuck on the squares where you. So every time he does something, like twice.
Dude, that was like the worst shit you could run into. If you get Captain Dark and you're just stun locked forever. He's just gonna have you like in the negative zones. He'll say you don't have money at this point, but you'll owe money later, and you'll be like -1,000, whatever. It was like the Mario Party of its time. I was like, damn, this sucks.
I got lucky and never summoned fucking computers up.
This is a great way to upgrade shit.
Yeah, you just sit there.
Oh, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 fucked up. We're gonna get something even more stupid than that, apparently. Hopefully it's optional. Well, two things I'd say before I go. Number one, we're gonna have to do that stupid classic Mr. Game & Watch shit.
Wait, I hope that's more of like you get synthesis items for it rather than it's like recommend. I feel like it should only.
I remember. Yeah,
you should only do it once, but if you want to do it more, you're free to do it like whenever you want. But all you really get out of it is a sort of like special synthesis item. Like
you're gonna
my favorite part of the trailer was when Sora just talks to Goofy on the side of him and says something, but you can't hear him. So everybody just put, "This game sucks."
Everybody just dubbed over it?
Yeah, everybody just dubbed it themselves and it said, "This game sucks." Like, you know how video people's mouths when he's doing a video? That's exactly what people were doing to Sora. He would just talk to Goofy and say, "This game sucks."
Nah, they should have put Ed and Eddie on it.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. V, do you want to do a part 2 to the live stream when I get back, or do you just want to end it here today?
I feel like we're gonna end it here today.
Are you gonna be on Discord later for normal conversations?
Yeah,
or just
for sure.
Tonight. All right, then I'll be back after formation.
All right, then. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for everything in the live streams. See ya.
All right.
Later, Carl.